Come on, more energy than that. Let's go. Are we excited? Woo! Thank you all for coming. Thank you to Entrepreneur First for hosting us in this wonderful office, and we'll be getting to them more later. Thank you to Product Hunt and Rajiv as well for helping us out. We are at the demo night hosted by the GenAI Collective and Product Hunt at Entrepreneur First. And we are essentially a nonprofit organization, fully volunteer-based, that essentially our goal is to bring together AI professionals like yourselves to make a community and host nights such as this to bring together talent from all of the Bay Area and increasingly the world. So thank you all for being here. And just a little bit of detail on who we are. So like I mentioned, the GenAI Collective is a nonprofit organization. We are all over the US and looking to expand abroad as well. We have many members, many volunteers. We host many organizations, many nights such as this, and others as well, not just demo nights. So if you are interested in volunteering, feel free to reach out to one of the organizing committees. Also, if you're interested in attending more of these, follow us on our Luma page. And Product Hunt is an awesome organization. CEO Rajiv will actually be helping us to moderate. And so let's give a round of applause for Rajiv. Awesome. And next slide. And our key sponsor, which made this night possible and who we are sitting in their office, is Entrepreneur First, which is a VC firm that invests in a lot of tech talent. And we have a video of them right over here. Awesome, and we will be having Max speak a little bit about what they do.
Evening, everyone. Very nice to meet you. My name is Max. I'm in the investment team at EF in London. I helped run the last batch of EF. Just to get a sense of who's in the room, who's from EF here? Can I get hands up? And so everyone else, is everyone else like San Francisco local? Sweet, great, yeah, I love the enthusiasm. So, I mean, what does that cryptic video mean? Essentially what EF does is we scour the world finding the best technical talent. You don't, as the video said, need an idea or need a co-founder, we just need you. And then we run you through a pretty intensive 8-week program to find a co-founder. You work with us to find an idea. We work together to see if that idea is legit, find customers, build a product. Eventually we invest in you. We take 8% for $250,000. And then the next 3 months is why we're here. So the guys that just raised their hands when I asked have come from London, have come from Bangalore, from Paris. We ran a program in New York last year. And I've all come here for the last 3 months of the program where essentially we intensely sprint, continuing to build companies, build product, find customers, host events like this to like really ingrain people in the SF tech community, to eventually pitch at a demo day at the end. That'll be 23rd of April. We'll get a bunch of VCs in the room. So that's your venue, and our companies will then pitch through. We've been doing this for nearly 10 years, so grown like a reasonably impressive tech community in places like London, Bangalore, growing in New York, and now we feels like we're in the home of technology, which is super exciting, and kind of act as a bridge from those places in Europe and Asia to the Valley. So really exciting to have you guys here in our office. We've got a similar place like this in London, so if any of you are ever there, please reach out. And I'm excited to meet you all and see some of your demos. Thanks so much.
Awesome, thank you so much. Okay, so the demo agenda for tonight. So we are going to be having 8 startups, 8 awesome startups, and each of them are going to be doing a 4-minute demo and then a 2 to 3 minute Q&A afterwards. Now, what you guys are going to be using, and I'll show you how to use it, is our awesome Demo Night app, where you can leave feedback. If you're looking for an opportunity, you can say, reach out to me. You can say, I want to invest in you. You can give all of that in the Demo Night app. And then at the very end, we are going to do voting on the top contenders. And here's some screenshots of our Demo Night app. It's an awesome app. Took a lot of engineering work. All right. Now, what I want all of you guys to do is pull out your phones, scan that QR code over there. Give you guys a sec for that. All right, cool. Okay, so here is how the Demo Night app works. First of all, we have the pre-demo space. So it looks like you guys are looking down at your phones, which is good right now, because what you're going to want to do is fill out just your basic information, and then click on Update Profile over there. And then later on, during the actual demo phase, you will have the opportunity to leave feedback, rate the company, say what went well versus what didn't go well. And please leave your honest feedback, because these demoists that are coming on stage, this is what they're looking for. So be honest about what you liked versus didn't like. And there's also you can leave a clap emoji. On the right, there's an I want to work for you, I want to invest in you, etc. On the left, you see on the bottom left, you see a little email me. So there's a lot of options that you can click on over there. And then afterwards, after all 8 are done, we are going to vote. And the 3 categories are going to be Best Overall, Best Technology, and Best Design. And then we announce results. And then we do a recap. And as a side note, for any of the engineers here, if you are interested in contributing to the Demo Night app itself, feel free to scan that QR code over there, or reach out to one of the organizing members like me or Chappie, and you can get involved in the engineering. And actually, I was just curious, maybe by a show of hands to see the breakdown of the audience. Who here is
a founder? Raise your hand. Wow. Impressive. Okay. Who here is an engineer or an operator? Amazing. And then what about investor? Awesome. So a very diverse community, which is great. Afterwards, you'll have plenty of opportunity to make connections, talk to people. So good stuff. This is one of our last demo nights. All right, and now for the moment you've been waiting for. We shall start the demoists. Bella. And then you can take this out and plug it.
Thank you.
Hold 1 second. We're just going to connect the audio. Okay.
I don't need audio.
Okay.
And do you have the order? Yeah. So we can get the second person ready, because they don't know the order.
All right.
see. Getting set up.
Do you have audio? Hello.
Mike's good? All right. Who's got time? Steven, you got time? All right. Let's go. Who are you? What are you building?
Hi, everyone. My name is Jonathan Faleka. I'm the founder and CEO of Vela.ai.
Awesome. What does Vela do?
Great question. Time is our most precious resource, yet every day we spend a ton of time in email. And this means your Monday morning coffee is going to get cold before you go through all of the clutter and inbox that's waiting for you. And we're taking a new approach to tackling that problem. Instead of thinking about your email as a list of correspondences, we're using it as a platform to save information and decouple that from the way we present it. So check out this first one.
So is this a tool on top of email, or is this a different interface for your inbox?
In the future, we imagine you having a warehouse that people send stuff to, but at the present, we're just an app that you use to look at your Gmail. So the first card is my favorite one by far, and I'd love to talk to you about it.
And just before we go into like actually seeing the app, what was the problem with email that you saw that caused you to build this?
Well, this was a long journey, actually. In 2017, I was a developer at LinkedIn. I just moved 5 times in 2 years. And then I realized after the third time, where I updated all my home addresses like an organized, good engineer, there's no way to do that again 5 times for 150 email addresses, accounts, homes, credit cards. And what it birthed is this vision for a frictionless experience across the board. There's no technological reason why we're all living this way. It's just business modes that are created, fragmented experiences that are letting the user be the interface point between different disparate data. I know this was a little bit long-winded, but where it led me was, imagine if all your data from all your accounts was organized, structured, and presented effectively. Your life would be so much better than the way we've been living so far.
Cool. Let's see it.
All right. So I'm going to start with sort of the big attempts with just email for now, and then I'll tell you about our ideas for the future. If you see this card right here, 18 different Lyft and Uber emails are getting piled together, organized into a rideshare folder, and you're being recommended to take a skip inbox action. What skip inbox would do is it will just entirely skip your inbox and move all 18 emails directly into the folder. Now there's a ton of these examples that we have kind of laid out, order updates where you only needed the last information, or travel where you have different information that you need. But let's be honest, you guys didn't want to come and look at a slide, so let's get the party started. All right, this is actually the app. So everybody, meet Vela.ai's beta app. Right off the bat, you see your regular inbox. We want to get out of your way as much as possible. But this looks interesting. I wonder what happens when I hit review.
There's a little tag that says noisy sender.
Oh yeah, for the people in the
top of
back,
that
I'll pull it up. But basically what it just did was it found all of the emails from the, what's the time? 40 seconds. Okay. All the emails from that sender, selected it all so that you can all move them in one button into the folder you want to get it to. But again, even though we took a large group action, it would be nice if I didn't have to find all of these noisy senders everywhere and actually just grab them all from the newsletters category and select all of them and create a rule for every one of the newsletter senders to move into a newsletter bucket. What just happened, I just like silence from your inbox. But at a high level, what we want to achieve is turn the world into something that looks a lot more like tailored experiences for every context, whether it's travel, newsletters, or any other modality that you use. That's what for me.
Awesome. Let's jump into a couple questions.
Sure.
Tee up some questions. We've got about 2 minutes of questions. First of all, I just got to, what I've seen was an inbox that's really nicely designed that allows you to take batch actions. These are things you can already do in in Gmail. These are things you can do in other email clients like Superhuman. Like what is the thing that you feel is like the most unique about Vela?
Yeah, we've had a hard time answering the competition question. But even when you say these apps allow you to do that, Gmail mobile app right now doesn't allow you to create a filter. Like today, the app that you use for the service, and Superhuman doesn't have a rule creation, organize, or bulk action. You can sort of search, select all, and move, but not a one button kind of attempt. But at a high level, we're not even competing with these people. We're trying to do separate information storage from information presentation. So understand the details about the email, structure it, and give you a personal graph that you can take action with.
All right, we're going to do some audience interaction. So raise your hand if you understand what Vela is. If you feel you understand what Vela is. Okay. Now keep your hand up if you feel you really have a burning need for Vela. Okay. So what do you, could you say back like what the need is that you have that it's solving?
I think the need is that email is a very back and forth communication. The transaction unit is singular, but really most of our conversations are not singular. That's kind of what he was trying to get across, even with.
Just say it again?
Yeah, most of our conversations are not singular transactions. Like you don't send me something and then it's done. It's usually a conversation. And no platform today does that conversation well. Is kind of what.
Very cool.
That's
Do
awesome.
you want to say like what's the need that addressed for you?
Well, for me, email often has themes that come about, and it's dynamic. And I wasn't sure for sure that you're doing this, but it sounds like you have a system that identifies those themes kind of over time automatically, rather than requiring me to come up with subfolders and organize it myself.
Exactly. So we have to start somewhere. So we try to find the most effective way to clear your inbox, not just hide it from your field of view, so that even after we've piled, condensed, and efficiently presented information from a bunch of emails, you now have it clear by moving it into their types, categories, and topics, and very modifiable as well.
Awesome. Let's end there. Let's have a round of applause.
Thank you.
Do we want to move this to the middle, and do we want to do the startup curve?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, do it now.
All right, we're gonna do a GenAI collective classic. We're pulling you on stage, Jonathan. You got to come with me.
Okay.
Come on down. Come on down. People might remember this from our first demo night. All right. No, there we go. I got good grip strength. All right, Jonathan, where are you on the startup YC curve?
Can I take a longer answer?
Please,
Okay.
enlighten us.
All right. So the funny story is like this, there should be a couple more of those kind of bumps. I launched a password manager. My friends got excited and then like it almost blew up and then we killed it. And then it wasn't really a TechCrunch one. Then I started a local first Discord community, but this is about people passionate about user ownership of data. The app I showed you has no databases, no servers. We're trying to do all the AI locally. And then that grew to 3,300 developers, but then we launched the app to that community. It was dead again. So I think we're like right there as the guy.
Oh, the crash of ineptitude.
Just
Ooh.
as that is like responding back to, life, mental health, sunlight, users. That's where we're at.
Nice. Well, that's a fantastic answer. Why don't you grab maybe the red, and you can sign right next to your crash of ineptitude.
It's taken off.
Wonderful. Okay, one more question, and then you're free. What kind of feedback do you want from the audience in the app? And this is everyone's reminder. Please give feedback in the app. If we need, there's QR codes. I don't know where the QR. GenAI Collective /demo. Just go to our website. There's the demo night banner. You can just go to our website and then give Jonathan feedback. What kind of feedback would you like from the community on Emissary? Or, yeah.
Yeah, there's a few of you out there that really get what I'm trying to say about efficiently presented information decoupled from data. But then that's really a mouthful, and I don't know how to present it. So if you have some ideas around, I love the Vela Idea X. It doesn't seem like that's what you're doing, but this is what I would like. That's the type of feedback that would be gold for me. We want to go from like to need.
Fantastic. Everyone, round of applause for Jonathan. He killed it. Do we want to do it on stage so everyone?
Oh yeah, we're gonna move the table.
I got it.
Sorry.
And then come up on stage. Come up on stage. Thank you.
Everybody, my name is Chad, the other person who's running the GenAI app. A reminder, all this feedback goes directly to the demoists after. If you fill out your information, they can reach out to you, follow-up chat, everything like that. This really helps them out. Also, we had almost 100 people leave feedback. Our record is, I think, 150. We have about probably 200 people in this room, so almost everybody can leave feedback and we can break the record. Let's try and do it tonight. This helps out the demoists, so thank you so much.
Awesome. Who are you and what are you building?
I'm Tanmay. I'm a machine learning engineer by training. I used to work at TikTok, and then I worked at a startup called Neva, and now we're building Emissary, which is the AI infrastructure platform I wish I had when I was a machine learning engineer.
All right. What does it do specifically?
So our belief is that every company should own their own AI destiny. What that means is you shouldn't have to wait for OpenAI to come up with a better model for your product's AI to improve. At the core, what that means is what we let you do is we enable you to fine-tune models really easily, more than just train models on your data. You can have custom loss functions, custom output heads. You can just control your AI model specifically how you want to. And then we help you deploy and maintain that in production, so you don't need to go and hire a large ML team to now sustain that AI that you just built.
Okay, so you've got a prototype with one of the big models, doesn't work well enough for your use case, and you help them actually make it work well.
Exactly. If you're struggling with your prompts, so if you're getting a lot of customers, people love what you're building, but you're seeing a lot of churn, then we're a really good fit, because that means that your core AI capabilities need to go a level higher, and you can use your user feedback to start getting them to go higher.
Awesome. Let's see it.
Amazing. So there's a lot of chatter around the fact that fine-tuning is expensive or hard. So what we're going to do is we're just going to run through a fine-tune right now. So we'll create a new service here, and let's call it,
Here, I'll hold.
thank you so much. Let's call it EF demo. So you go in here, upload any data set you want. If you're not sure how to format this data, all the guidelines are right here. So we'll go in and upload a data set. Let's go to documents. Once you've got this data set uploaded, you can preview it from right here or also delete it. But we're going to go and kick off a training job, kick new training job, name it whatever you want, pick any base model you'd like, pick any the training data set you chose, and then go in and hit start new training job. I'm obviously hitting a really fun error here, so I'm going to go to staging really quickly. This always happens in the demo, but let's see if this is more helpful. All right. Training job. There we go. So we'll pick a Llama 3 to B. We'll call it B1. We'll pick the data set we have and click Start New Training Job. Now, what we're doing under the hood is we will provision the right GPU for you. We'll load it with the training set base model training script, train the model, save all the checkpoints, and then make them available at this location. And you can go hit deploy and deploy the model that you want. We're going to go back really quickly to deployments and see what that looks like here. So you can see it pending. Again, exact same thing. We'll provision the GPU instance, load it with the serving script. You can access it at this API endpoint. All of the code snippets are right here. You monitor all of the inputs and outputs from here, and you can actually test it from this window itself. So I'm going to jump back to the place where I had deployed one already. There we go. We'll go to deployments, testing, come in here and say, hi there. And you can see that you're able to both fine-tune, deploy, test, and integrate into your application, your own models, just as quickly as we have. And all of this costs you $1.50 an hour. So if your training job runs you 3 hours, you just paid $5 for your own AI model. That's kind of the flow. I'm obviously happy to take lots of questions if you have any, but we can go deeper into it.
Awesome. So quick show of hands. How many people understand what emissary is? Great. Now keep your hand up if you need to use this. How would you describe what emissary is in your own words?
Let people fine-tune coding models. Super useful if you don't want to have the overhead, having machine learning and having to do that yourself. We like to use large models because they update quickly and we don't have to rip down infrastructure when they get updated. But if we could just do it really quickly, we might think about using more.
Yeah, and so we feel exactly the same way, which is why we have a clone button right here. So you hit clone, pick the new hottest model that's come out, and hit start new training job. So we update models within about 24 hours of a new model release. You can actually fine-tune DeepSeek on Emissary already, and you can fine-tune like DeepSeek on Emissary. So you can do GRPO, which is their new loss function, on the platform as well. So what we're really saying is, even if you do have an ML engineer, think of us as your ML infra team. And you can still have your ML engineer focus on applications.
Show of hands, how many people in the audience are using a platform for fine-tuning right now?
Interesting question.
Okay. So there are a few platforms that focus on fine-tuning. Like, what are you focusing on a more specific use case, or do you have a different approach than some of the other platforms?
Yes, so that's a really great question. We get this all the time. If you look at something like a Fireworks or Together, they're fine-tuning infrastructure. Our big focus is that we're fine-tuning intuition plus infrastructure. What that means is we actually make quite a few opinionated decisions across the board, right? So we're not going to leave it up to you. You can override all of our decisions, but by default, we'll tell you which GPU instance to go to so you don't have an out-of-memory error. If you decide that you're actually doing a classification task, we'll change the loss function for you. Again, all in your control, you can override, you can change the training script, it's all right there. But if you're trying to do things that you might not be able to do right away or might take a lot of time to set up, we already have them in place. So our core focus is really to deliver intuition through this more than to sell this as the infrastructure piece.
So I'm not sure I'm following with deliver intuition.
Yes.
Is this, are you focusing on like having the output be something about the fine-tuning system itself, or like what?
Exactly.
Yeah, tell me more
So
about that.
what we're basically taking is we're distilling some years of ML engineering experience and putting it into the platform. So if you have an error, we can start going in and predicting why you're having this error, so you can arrive at the optimal model for your task a lot faster. So it's not just, hey, why don't you come here and fine-tune, it's easy. It's, we're going to try and prevent as many failure modes as possible so that you can get to your optimal model a lot faster than you would if you were just brute forcing, which is kind of what all of machine learning is about.
It's not just tools for fine-tuning. It is, the whole thing is a fine-tuning guide, so to speak.
Exactly.
Awesome. We got time for a couple questions. Yeah?
Hey, so I work as a machine learning engineer for the last 4 or 5 years. So I understand from, if I'm working as an engineer, as a team, what the utility is essentially, right? But if I think as a business, the problem you're trying to solve is make ML engineer's job less tedious essentially, right? But you still have to have a ML engineer essentially. And I don't understand where that, like as a business, when would I decide to use you versus like SageMaker, which also provides fine tuning, OpenAI that also provides fine tuning, for example?
So really good question. One of the things that we're constantly focused on is how much does your AI engineer need to know? So there's a spectrum from software engineer to AI engineer to machine learning engineer, right? And you're usually trading up on product sense. Like the closer you get to software, the more product native they are, but you're trading down on some sort of calculus sense, if you think about it that way. And so what we want to keep doing is trying and making all of these capabilities more and more accessible to people that might have less of a math background and more of a product background. When it comes to machine learning engineers, one of the reasons that heads of ML or heads of AI really like to bring us on board is because of the collaboration features. So you can use SageMaker, but SageMaker has almost no capability for multiple engineers to collaborate with each other. The other big thing is we actually entwine compute and data infrastructure. If you look at something like AWS, there's storage and there's compute. But machine learning engineering is some entwinement of storage and compute. And so what we're really saying is, look, your abstraction is now training job. Your abstraction is not model dumped in some S3 bucket. We'll make sure we index those things. You focus on how to get that optimal training job in place. Every team has an ML engineer shortage. I've never met a company that has as many ML engineers as they wish they had. And so we basically make their 3 ML engineers feel like 10.
Awesome. I think we got to move on there.
The final question, Tanmay. Maybe I won't knock everything down this time. Where on the startup curve of despair are you?
Okay. I would say we're starting to feel here as of like 25.
What makes it false hope and not real hope, Tanmay?
Oh, I actually didn't see the false hope part.
That's the operative word is
okay,
false
where's the
hope.
real hope part? I would say somewhere here. The last 4 weeks have made us feel somewhere here.
So I think when he says the last 4 weeks, we know he's for sure
Maybe
not there.
here.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever really know which one you're on, right? As
Awesome.
long as it's
Why
the
don't
same
you
shape.
take the red and sign next to it?
All right. Which one am I signing next to?
Dude, that's you for you to decide. I can't tell you where you're at. Fantastic. Okay, final question before we let you free. What kind of feedback do you want from the audience in the Demo Night app? And this is a reminder to the audience, please give feedback. It goes directly to the demoists.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think there's 2 things. One is what's making you think about or not think about fine-tuning? And then the second thing is, what did you think of the user experience? We really want to make this as easy and accessible as possible. So those are the 2 things we're looking for.
Awesome. Round of applause for Tanmay. He absolutely killed it.
All right. Let's see. Almost there.
There we go.
There we go. All right. Who are you? What are you building?
Hi, I'm Doug. I'm one half of Try8. We are building a demo authoring and delivery platform for technical products.
Demo authoring and delivery platform. So who's this for?
This is primarily for sales and marketing teams who are selling technical products. So think about APIs, databases, other technical software, CLI tools, VS Code extensions.
So there are a lot of companies that do versions of interactive demos for sales, like a lot of B2B SaaS.
Yep.
But are there any companies that focus on selling developer tools?
Not that I know of. I know, yeah, there's a category of people that let you clone your website and build like little tooltips to guide the users if you're a SaaS platform. But if you're a developer tool company or a technical product, there isn't a tool that I can think of.
Cool. Can you show it? Let's see it.
Yeah, this is a brand new, so I'm going to show you guys 2 workflows. The first is the authoring workflow. So it's like if you're a sales or a marketing person. And then the second, I'll show you the delivery workflow. So if you're a developer. So, yeah. So if you are, for example, a sales engineer, you can type it in. So,
Build me a demo in TypeScript.
Yep. And what it will do, so if you guys have ever used like Jasper.ai for writing blog posts, this is kind of like that, but it's meant for technical products. So the workspace, the output is actually code. So the first prompt is asking if you have like a transcript from Granola for a customer discovery call. This gives the AI some context about what the customer use case is. This asks for a URL to a database schema if you have that, so you can use to generate synthetic data. This is for including integrations, and then, for example, this is like allows you to specify like who the audience is. So like software engineer for a healthcare company, and then it will generate the code, and then I'll pivot over to showing you guys how a customer will experience this. So let me. So this is actually a demo that we're building for a design partner. They are a VS Code extension, and one of the problems they have is they have issues where people have a certain version of VS Code that isn't supported. They need a specific version of Node installed, and so with actually just a single click, let me refresh this. Hashtag live demo. So with this click of a button, it is going to actually do the entire setup. So this is actually going to install a VS Code extension. You'll see that this populated on the left side here. So the company is called Poly API. It's going to ask me to type in an API key in just a second.
So is this what
This is a developer trying to evaluate like whether they want to use Poly API or not. And so, yeah, these buttons actually manipulate the VS Code. So this is actually the part where this is really cool for a sales engineer because they can build this demo experience as if they were on the call, but now the customer is self-serving the buttons. So here,
what are some of the buttons there?
So the first is run the setup. So this installs the VS Code extension and runs the Poly setup. This is a very customer specific. The second generates their SDK, which actually builds like the knowledge graph of like which APIs it understands. And then you can basically ask the AI to generate some code for you. So how do I get a list of repos in GitHub? This is not our product, by the way. This is like our customer's product. The workspace is ours, but the VS Code extension is our customer. And then whatever code it generates here, you can click this button to open the file to type it in. Oops. So you can so this button open this file, and you can copy and paste this code in and run it. Cool.
Awesome.
So, cool.
So, quick first question. It sounds like this. It looks like this is really built for a product that's selling to developers to help developers like interact with it in a quick and easy way.
Yep.
Are you seeing any other types of usage?
We're seeing. So this is useful for product marketing. This is useful for sales engineering. We're starting to, even though we're trying to target pre-sales, we're seeing people pull us into a post-sales use case. So this is like for customer onboarding. So one of our design partners is actually trying to use this to help customers who've already paid get onboarded to their product more quickly by building out these like reference implementations.
It's sort of reminding me of like a really high-powered Loom. You know, it's like Loom as a fundamental concept. You know, record a video, a screen of a screen.
Yeah, it's an
recording.
interactive Loom.
Yeah, you can
developer products.
you can use it in a sales context. You can use it internally for collaboration.
Yep.
You can use it to like illustrate an idea. This is like kind of like a sandbox version of or a building blocks version of Loom.
Yeah, and one of the cool things too is this infrastructure allows us to connect to like third-party integrations. So we can connect to databases. We can connect to. We even have AWS services emulation. We can obviously generate data. We can pull data from production if that is allowable. So it's a really flexible platform.
Are you seeing people use it for prototyping?
So far, we're targeting. So we're pre-launch. So we're targeting a pre-sales and post-sales use case.
Any questions from the audience? Questions? Who here is building a product for developers? Who's building a product for developers? Okay, so we've got a few. Do you understand what this is?
Yeah, no, it's interesting, but it's difficult to
obviously, you can see the value in which most of us have been confronted with the reality of having to do a demo and everything is not running correctly. It's a bit difficult to project yourself into knowing whether it's going to work in your specific use case or not. Like, how do you do to ensure that given your specific configurations and so on, you're going to be able to provide us with the basics of, technical basics.
So is the question sort of like how much does the demo environment translate to the product working in the actual customer's environment?
A demo is a demo, right? So it's gonna work regardless, right? And that's kind of the point. Like you want to make the sale, and then you can kind of figure out implementation afterwards. I think what we're really trying to sell, like the value prop, is really like anytime that a customer tries your product and it has friction in the setup, you're gonna see drop off in the conversion, right? And so this is providing a frictionless way for people to actually experience your product, and then you can figure out all the messy real world things like after the sale.
Nice. All right. I'm gonna sneak around from the back this time. All right. Where are you?
I'm gonna agree with the last guy, and I think we're like right around here.
Wiggles of false hope. Is that?
We're just, I think we're just about breaking out of this because we have a few design partners that I think will likely convert soon. So
You're at the design partners stage. I think we're a little. I don't want to assume, but I think we're a little closer. Maybe.
Okay.
You have no MRR. Yeah. Close. Nice. And then
way to kill the dream.
No. That's the fun part. That's fair. No, Rajiv's right.
Yeah, it's one is a very big name, so I'm excited about that one.
What kind of feedback, and this is the reminder to the audience, please give feedback on the app. It's the least you could do for these struggling founders who think they're in the promised land. What kind of feedback are you looking for?
So if you're selling a technical product, do you have a need for a sales engineer, or would you rather use a product like this instead of a sales engineer? That's like question one. And then if you're a technical person or a developer, have you struggled trying to learn a new product, and did you wish that there was an experience where you could just have that's like a single click of a button?
Awesome. Round of applause. Absolutely killed it. I got it, Brigitte.
We can share.
Can you see who's up next? All right. Who are you? What are you building?
I'm Harry.
And I'm Rafa.
We're the Dweem team. We're building fully generative games.
So these are games where every pixel of every frame is generated with AI. So instead of using a game engine, which has 3D assets and code stitching it all together, you use a video model. It's a visual diffusion transformer, and you generate every subsequent frame based on the previous few frames and the buttons that you're pressing along the way. Locally, you can get about 20 frames a second on latest NVIDIA hardware.
Let's see it.
Yeah, sure. We've got a demo here. I was in the industry for the past 6 years. I didn't actually want to found in gaming, but this new technology that advanced over the past 6 months dragged me back in. I think that it heralds a new generation of games where you can prompt a world into being, you can have personalized gameplay, and users can perturb and change these worlds on the fly. I think it's super exciting, but here's what we built.
Yeah, so this is all really early in the timeline. So far, we've made an open source platform where you can easily, on Linux and on Windows, find and play these generative games just by clicking it and downloading it. You may have seen AI Minecraft around. You can play Descartes' model here. Here we're showing a model called Lucid, also of Minecraft. It's a bit more performant on local machines. And as you can see, it looks like Minecraft, but it's not really Minecraft. It's very technically a hallucination of Minecraft. So you look one way, you turn around, and everything looks completely different. We believe this isn't a bug. This is indeed a feature.
Yeah, so part of our next focus is making these models more stateful and allowing users to interact with them. We'll show another game that we have. This is created by a solo dev called Diraware, modeled on Mario Kart. So one of the interesting things here is the minimap there actually provides some level of memory and state. We also allow on our platform to change the number of denoising steps. So if you want it to be more accurate but a bit slower on your hardware, then you can do that.
I really do want to call attention to the minimap. This model has 4 frames of memory, so when you're going around the circuit, it looks the same. If it didn't have the minimap, it would just loop forever. But the minimap, the dot keeps moving, and it's the only thing that still keeps it on track.
What's the interaction like right now?
The reaction right now is whatever you condition the actions on. So here you can turn left and right, you can use the mushroom, and that's about it. But what we're really excited about is novel interaction methods. Like, for example, being able to prompt a house into being in Minecraft. We have vision, for example, for streamers and their audiences interacting with this. So a streamer's playing a game, and then the audience can prompt things to change in the game.
Yeah, more likely they're just going to screw up the streamers. They're wanting to kill them. That's the first use case that I see. Yeah, and we have one more model that we're going to show, which we trained ourselves, which is Yume Nikki. It's a walking simulator. You're all going through this dream-like, trance-like game. Yeah.
What we're really excited about is being able to create these worlds and stitch them together. So you walk through a door in one world, and you show up in a different game. So the humans can then create experiences that send a message, that have a narrative, that tell a story.
So, I mean, we're just looking for anybody who's interested in this tech, who wants to chat with us. You can also play with this yourself. You can download, there's a Windows EXE, which you can find on either dream.com, so that's dream but with a W, or worldarcade.gg. Yeah, please do talk with us if you're interested in video models and gaming.
For real, if you find this tech interesting, please find us at number 4. We would love to talk.
Super cool. I want to dig into 2 things. What was the hardest thing? What's been the hardest thing about building this, and what's been like the most fun thing about building this?
Hardest things, hands down, bundling a PyInstaller exe, specifically having to create a virtual environment on the system for each game. Took weeks to get working properly on most Windows machines.
Funnest thing is just watching people play with these models and seeing what they find fun. So with the Minecraft model, you see people speedrun. They look at certain pixels, and it's a almost meta of the game that you try and teleport to the nether. So now we're playing about with these models. It'll be interesting to see what happens when, say, you're able to push and move things around, you're able to prompt them, but we can't say too much more about that.
Playtesting these games seems very different from playtesting a normal game, which is like, what can you adjust when you see somebody playing with it?
Literally, this is my job for 6 years, which seems like you shouldn't be paid to do this, but I was paid to playtest a load of games that were coming to me as an investor, and also for my portfolio, usually structured surveys. Honestly, it's as simple as finding the fun. You can kind of hear it in people's voices, as well as having that more structured feedback. But yeah, at least with the Minecraft models, you're seeing people playing around with it for 10, 15 minutes. We're wanting to push that retention. So that's the main focus that we have, and as well as people talking about it and that virality. That's what I'm most...
But how do you actually respond to the playtesting feedback, given that the game's being generated? What can you change in your game to make it more fun?
You can imbue it with more content. So what keeps people playing at this moment is novelty. They find it interesting. And as soon as they see everything there is to see in the game, they're like, okay, that was fun. But you can train it with more and more data, more and more levels, and then you can extend the playtime. But what we're excited about is not just extending the game with more content for more novelty's sake. We're excited with making fun mechanics that incentivize people in different ways to play.
Super cool. We've got time for one live question, then you can leave questions in the app. Questions?
Oh, I was demonstrating how to ask a question, Rajiv.
All right, questions in the app. Oh, you got a question in the back. Just yell it out.
What's your vision for the future? Like, what's the best thing you're going to create in terms of games?
So the future of gaming, I think it is just completely reducing the barriers to create games. So with Roblox, you're able to create games, but you're using a lot of like low code solutions. This should allow anybody to prompt and write in, oh, I want to create a sci-fi universe, and then for that game world to be instantiated. I think there's also a really interesting element of co-creation where people can have thousands of people who are able to enter into these worlds and remix them. So a similar revolution to what happened with video might, and at least we're founding on this premise, will happen with games.
Completely uprooting game engines.
All right, make way for the curve. Also, people over here, could you guys quiet down? Hold each other accountable so we can all pay attention and focus on the demos. Everyone over here. Grab him. Yes, perfect. Can you guys please pay attention to the beautiful demoists? Thank you. All right, Dweem, Raf, and co-founder who didn't follow the name tag, Harry. Okay, well, off to a good start.
God,
Great. Where are you guys on the curve?
I wish I could say we're here, but we're probably here.
Yeah. Dude, guys, you're talking about future use cases. You're not even Max. We're at the trough of sorrow. I don't even think you guys have hit this part yet. To be when were you on TechCrunch?
Oh, there's Descartes, which is on TechCrunch. So I'd say we're at the wearing off of novelty, definitely. I think we're entering into trough of sorrow and release of improvement. That's where we're here. We're hoping to skip this level, but that's
perfect. All right, Dweem, mark your thing, and then let's. Next is Colaire. Colaire, come to stage. All right, people on the side. I'm keeping my eye on all of you. Dweem, everyone.
How's everyone doing? A little bit more energy than that, please. How's everyone doing? Oh, there we go. Thanks.
All right. Who are you? What are you building?
All right. Good to see you all. I'm Jamie. This is Ilya. We both worked at TikTok, and I also worked at Apple. And we're here to show you a product that we think helps people enable more use cases to use AI. And so we've selected ChatGPT as one of the biggest examples of use in AI, or at least the entry point into AI, to show you how we do that.
Hey, guys over there, could you please keep it down? Guys. Thank you.
Cool. So what is the thing that you're building? What's the tool?
So when we've spoken with a lot of companies, one of the big blockers or barriers to adoption of AI systems, or even allowing employees to use ChatGPT, is their data security and their data privacy. So we want to help them solve that. We want to help them enable the usage and to do so responsibly. And to help just generally anyone use these systems, not just ChatGPT, but multimodally as well, and also across different use cases, be it coding copilots or legal or medical, or just generally when you care about what data you're sending and where it goes. This is where you use this technology.
All right, can we see it?
So this is an early version. This is pre-release. So. This is not yet available to download, but if you're interested to use it, please do come and visit us at the booth over there, and we'll share. We'll let you try it early. So yeah, first we're going to give this example of receiving an email. You might be an employee on the job. You receive this email, and you work at a bank, and you're like, oh, I can't really be bothered reading this because it's really long. I mean, this one's not long, but it might be really long. So you just copy paste that into ChatGPT. And your bank probably wouldn't be super happy with that because there's all these policies. ChatGPT can train on the data. They might retain it on their servers. There might be logs. And so there's lots of sensitive information in there. So yeah, the employee might just click send. And so what we do is we do a quick check. And that runs on the device or on premise, depending on how you want to run that. And you get this pop-up, which basically shows you all of the data, and all of that's configured by you or by the company, just in plain text, plain English. And so you get all the examples of data that's probably a little bit sensitive. But instead of just blocking it, as most companies do, we want to enable the usage of it, enable you to summarize that email. So we can privatize it. Here's an example of privatizing with masking. So that's something that's relatively simple to follow. You just replace the value with what it is. Like this is a name or this is a job title. But we also allow the user to override. So they might judge, hey, my job title here, it's actually important context for this. So and it's not that sensitive. So let's reject that. And then you can send that. So you just click continue.
I just want to disentangle the different players here. So there's a user.
There's a user.
And then their data is being viewed by an employee of the company.
No, so this is you. If you as an employee might be using ChatGPT and you just got that email and you're like, hey, I want to summarize this.
Okay, so your product is for companies.
Companies.
And
yeah.
it's used by their employees
Exactly.
when viewing end user data? Or no?
Just using any data. So
Just
if you wanted to use ChatGPT or any other application like a coding copilot, and you had sensitive information there, this is currently this is a browser extension, and it will help you not send the sensitive stuff. So like your name or your email or an account number or an amount.
To externally or internally?
To ChatGPT.
Oh, to ChatGPT.
To ChatGPT.
Okay, so this lets employees use ChatGPT without giving off their company's data.
Exactly. So here we can see instead of giving the sensitive data, we give it just says phone number. So you can still get all the utility that you would normally want to get out of it. But as Ilya showed there, because we know what they all are on the browser, we can actually just swap it on this side. So what's gone to ChatGPT are those masks. But the way that we can display it, because you've already typed it in, we can show it to you as if you're just using it normally. So this basically allows you to use tools like ChatGPT without giving away the sensitive data to the party. You retain that on your side. And so you get this very seamless user experience. Again, we also do this for images. And if you want to see a pretty cool demo where we have a remote computer use agent controlling your computer, sending screenshots that are redacted back, we can show you that as well at the booth. Cool. That's us. Thanks.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah. Quick show of hands. How many people work at a company where the network restricts use of, or the policies restrict use of AI? Cool. Does your company have anything that does this?
We use Azure OpenAI, which means the model is in our domain, so we don't have to worry about it, right? Yeah.
For other people who raise their hands, does anybody need this at their company?
Yeah, so I used to work for an e-commerce company and they said no ChatGPT. If you presented something like this to them, I think they could potentially come around.
So, great presentation. I have a question here. How does sending data to GPT is harmful, but sending it to this plugin is not? It's still PII.
Yeah. Yeah. So the main feature of this is actually that the models are self-hosted or even on device, depending on kind of the level of performance that you want. So actually the company gets the entire full control over the data flows.
Yeah, I think critically, you don't share the data with us. We share the model with you.
I imagine it might be quite annoying to have to click the buttons each time. Can you just put this behind the scenes so it just runs without my employees knowing that this is running?
Yeah, I think that's one of the flows that we're offering. This is kind of to showcase what exactly it does. The future of this is fully seamless experience where the employee doesn't have to think about this at all, but everything is fully private by design.
Awesome. We got time for one more question. Yeah, in the back. Do you want to yell?
Yeah, we have We have a coding example. We'll show you it at the booth. If you come over, we can show you everything that we can detect. It's not just PII. So usually, if you go to something like, I think there's like PII removal in Azure or something, but it's only specific things. This you can do anything. So you can define whatever you like, and it will spot it in the text. So it's really very intelligent content understanding. Like you're looking for port numbers, IP addresses, API keys, trade secrets, project names, whatever it might be. It will work here. So it's not just PII, just anything that you think of, and you can customize it to your use case.
All right, the question you've been dreading. Where on the startup curve of death are you guys? I like where you're starting. That's that's at least honest.
We're right at the beginning. So
what's your I guess that's your rationale. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah, we're hoping we're going to go straight up, and then hopefully there's not going to be the fall, but
it's all the hopes. It's all the hopes. Okay, before you go, what kind of feedback? And this is a reminder to everyone in the audience, including the people over there. Just shame. To please provide feedback in the app. What kind of feedback do you want for Colair?
Yeah, I think try it out. Let us know what you think. Come over to the booth, and we'll set you up with trying it out for free.
Will they get a locally run model?
Yeah, we can give a locally run model.
Even if they come to the booth?
If they come to the booth,
That's a pretty compelling offer, I think. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Colair.
Cool. Thanks.
As a reminder, we have almost 50 people left feedback for Colair. You can do things beyond just leave feedback, by the way. There's a little button on the right side. Apparently, there are 6 people interested in investing in Colair and 6 people interested in working for Colair. So you can also do that. If you're looking for a job, great way to get a job. If you're looking to invest, you can invest in these companies.
Awesome. Who are you and what are you building?
I'm David. This is Joe. And we are co-founders of Asteroid. And what Asteroid is doing, we're making AI agents in a browser production ready.
Actually, let's pause there. Quick show of hands. How many people felt like they understood what Asteroid's doing from that tagline?
How many of you have seen OpenAI Operator? Great. So OpenAI Operator is an agent who can control your browser. Think of something that can click on anything and automate workflows in your browser end to end. Do you know what OpenAI Operator is now? Show of hands. Great. So what we do is we are a safety layer on top of that. So if you want to just use OpenAI Operator and it's going to click on some button, which is really, really bad, or if you have a workflow that needs to be executed 50,000 times and you want to make it reliable, we are the safety layer and reliability layer on top of that, where we can host this agent and make it improve over time.
So you make Operator safer?
We make it safer and scale and more reliable.
Okay. Okay, new show of hands. How many people feel like based on that, they understand what Asteroid is? Okay, doing a little better. Can we have, let's go. Let's see it.
Yeah, I think after the demo, you will understand a bit better. Let's show it. Joe?
Awesome. So we're designed to be used by developers via APIs, so you can run production workloads in browsers. Imagine 1,000 browsers at once. But for this demo, we're going to kick something off just in the UI, a single agent. No.
Okay.
So hopefully you guys can see. How's your eyesight? No? I'll explain really clearly, don't worry. So we're going to kick off an agent, which is going to use a browser to go to HubSpot, sign into our HubSpot account, extract some information about one of our clients, and fill in 7 insurance quotes on different websites for them. So I'm going to go ahead and type in my task, give it the 7 websites, and give it instructions as to what I want it to do. I'm going to go ahead and kick off this agent. So let's go and have a look at this agent running live in the browser. So this is not me controlling this browser, this is the agent. Immediately it's paused, it's been faced with a login screen, and we've told this agent we have a number of safety checks, and one of them is if you're in front of a login screen, escalate to the human. The first time we see this, we're gonna log in. So I'm gonna take control of this browser as the human. I'm gonna log in with my credentials, skip this step. The AI now has control of the browser. We're going to resume the execution. You can see it take control and start to execute on its task. So it's getting the credentials for this user. It is extracting their information, and eventually will give us the data that we need. Now, this is of course always all API accessible. So now we want to use this information to fill in 7 insurance forms, which might have 80 steps in each. This could take a human an hour to do, or we could just do it using our agent. So we've filled in these 7 forms in a matter of minutes in parallel. So this is another agent cycle. It has gone to this website, taken the details, and run a 21-step process to find a quote for this person. So as you can see here, this happened asynchronously. This quote has now been extracted, and we have 6 other of these quotes. So you can see just like one of the steps of the agent, step 11. We can go see the prompt that was used for this agent, which we could iterate on and improve. We can go ahead and look at the progress, see what the agent did, check the output. And if we want to, we can give feedback here for the agent the next time that it runs. The next time that it runs, it will then use the updated version. So hopefully you understood what it is that we do. I'll hand back to David.
Yeah, any questions? Maybe we can just do questions.
Yeah, so this is really cool. This type of automation is like super horizontal. Mm-hmm. You could use it. You showed like an insurance use case.
Yeah.
What other use cases are you seeing or hoping to see?
Yeah, so we see the biggest use cases in some kind of form when you need to automate interaction with some portal that doesn't have an API. So in this case, we have insurance use case when there are 20 portals, but they want to use hundreds of portals. And it's impossible to automate with API. But with AI agents, you can finally do this. So if you have, for example, another CRM, so HR use case, where you have manual data entry, that's another use case. We have 50,000 data entry points that you need to do every day. You can automate it now with AI agents, but it hasn't been possible because they're like narrow problems and like many edge cases. So you can use like Selenium or Playwright script, which is the state of the art of automation right now.
So quick show of hands, how many people here are founders? Keep your hands up in the air if you have at least one core business process automated. So like not a lot of people.
Yeah, so I'll be curious to hear what are the processes that you would love to automate, but it's maybe too complex, you think it's impossible, or it's too manual.
Awesome. We got time for like one question and then leave other questions in the app.
So I have a question about security. So this is completely confined to a browser window, or do you just spawn new browsers? Like, what is the technology behind it? How do you keep it secure?
So we take care of all of the browser infrastructure for you. Each browser is isolated and runs separately on a container away from any other information or browsers. So it's completely segmented, and even if you were to execute some kind of malware or download something, that wouldn't be a problem.
So once you do automate it, is it going to provide consistent results every time, or is it deviations?
Yeah, so the point of hosting it is that we can improve it every execution. So you saw, for example, there was human feedback. And every time we are able to gather this data point, we can improve. And like, if the website is going to change, we can detect those kind of things. And we just end-to-end automate that workflow, and you don't have to worry about it.
Can I just finish on one note? One final thing. I think we're in the GPT-2 days of browser automation. And so I would really encourage all of you to think about, if knowing what you know now, if you were in the GPT-2 days, what would you do? And just think about the use cases that could be automated when this technology is 2 years down the line.
All right, the question we've all been waiting for. Where is Asteroid on?
So how about Joe will show his, and then I will show, and if we don't correlate, we will have different conversations.
Cover your eyes.
We just started YC, so
Who's your group partner? Oh. All right, he's done. You can look.
Oh, you put it there? Well.
You weren't supposed to look. Nice. What is the milestone for you all that will get you there?
10K MRR and 20 deployed agents.
What MRR?
There are too many investors in this room. I don't want to really.
Oh, smart man. David's a good executive. Awesome. Asteroid, everyone. They killed it.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Okay, hello.
Just do quit.
Should matter, right?
All
Okay.
right.
Hello. Hi.
Who are you? What are you building?
I'm Arushi Gandhi, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Wrestle AI. I'm building Devin for Salesforce.
Devin for Salesforce. For using Salesforce or for implementing Salesforce?
Implementing Salesforce. So, when any company buys Salesforce, ServiceNow, SAP, any of these softwares, they can't just start using it out of the box. These whole army of consultants come in who set up the software for them. So we're building agents to replace these army of consultants. This is basically what Accenture, PwC, Deloitte, a bunch of these companies do.
It's a huge industry.
Yep.
Can we see it?
Yeah, sure. So let's get started. First step. Yeah, so as I was saying, companies do one of two things. Either they'll work with these expensive consultants who charge by the hour and often don't have enough business context to do a good enough job, or they'll hire, again, expensive in-house admins, which ratio will be super skewed. There'll be one admin for like a 600-person org. So while we understood this, we realized that an agent for implementing Salesforce might be a good idea. This is how it works. You connect to Salesforce, you give us some details, and you get access to the dashboard. So a good way to think of the dashboard is essentially a place to just dump your requirements, whatever you want Salesforce to do. I want Salesforce automation to be created. I want a flow. I want a custom object. I want a custom report, dashboard. You just put it on there, and then there are three categories of tickets. There's active, completed, in review. So let's go ahead, assign a new ticket to the agent. So I'm going to take a particular example where we create a new record type. What that means in Salesforce is, think of it as an object where I'll be storing all of the data about leads that I'm getting from a partner of my business. So the ticket has all of some additional details about what needs to be implemented. What does the lookup relationship of the database schema look like? What does the page layout in Salesforce supposed to look like, etc. Just go ahead and click submit now, and it gets logged. Now let's ask the agent to actually execute this. So I go ahead, I click on execute. Now, while that's going on, let me explain to you what's going on in the background. So everything that a consultant does on Salesforce, which is click, 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 can be represented or is represented in Salesforce in the form of XML data. Now, LLMs are good at generating code. So what's going on here is LLMs are understanding the requirement, understanding what code needs to be generated, which is XML, and coming up with the code. So the first step is this planning agent, which is essentially the agent coming up with like a broad plan that, okay, if you want this to be done, this is what I'm going to do. You'll see it on a screen in a second. And there's a human in the loop element all throughout. So nothing gets implemented that you don't, that's undesirable. It'll ask you. So just as you see there, it's asking me, are you okay with that plan? I'm like, yes, proceed. Then the business analyst agent comes in. These are complicated task, right? The agent needs to have all of the context. So it's going to determine if it has all the context. It's going to pull all of the context from Salesforce, pass it on to the architect agent. The architect agent comes up with a technical blueprint, high-level overview, passes that on to the developer agent. Before that, again, human in the loop, it's going to ask you if the architecture it's come up with is good enough. If you say it's, yeah, okay, good enough, confirm, then the developer agent comes in. Now, this is where the magic happens. Remember how I was talking about the XML code generation? That's what the developer agent is doing. It's generating code, it's identifying what files need to be edited, what code needs to be put in, and yeah, that's about it. Implementation is complete. The final step, as you'll see on the screen, is testing, just to ensure that what's been implemented is what is desired, and then the tickets gets closed. So that's it.
How much do you need to know about Salesforce to use this successfully? Like, do you need to actually be somebody who's capable of implementing Salesforce to this? Like, does this just multiply your powers?
In today's day, yeah, that's why we don't give this out to end customers directly. We need to have a human in the loop. So either it's if they have an admin, great, you can use us. Otherwise, we'll be your admins, we'll be the human in the loop of a product like this. But our hope is over time, with models getting better, we can create more abstraction on top so that directly business users can use it.
There were a lot of different steps, handoffs to different agents.
Yeah.
My guess would be an error in one step propagates to all the other steps.
Yeah.
Like, how do you?
So the good part about this is the actual execution comes up in just the developer agent. So at any point in time, that's why there's a strong human in the loop on the steps before the developer agent. So let's say it's come up with an error that you don't want, you can stop it right there. You can give it some extra instructions so that all those errors get mitigated. And then developer agent ensures that the correct context is pulled and the correct XML is generated depending on all of those previous instructions.
Cool. So the process of using it starts in UI that you've made, and
Yeah.
then you can adjust it via free text.
Yeah, it can be done. It's app.wrestle.ai. You can go ahead, use us, or you can also just, we can enable it on Slack. Some companies want it on Slack, so yeah.
How similar is the UI to what a Salesforce engineer or Salesforce implementation engineer would use?
Zero. Yeah, if you've used Salesforce, you know that that's not a UI standard to really aim to be. So yeah, not very similar, but it's similar to general AI tools out there. That's what we're going for. And as I mentioned, right, like this is for demo purposes, but in real life, our customers usually just ask to have it on Slack, or they'll ask for it to have it on Jira. We don't really need to have a whole UI. All of this can be done within existing workflows. So.
Cool. So, questions? Yes. Yeah.
Do you worry that Salesforce can just do this? I mean, they have Agentforce already, right? So how do you make something novel?
So yeah, I feel like I should just keep this answer here at this point because everyone asked me that. But yeah, so Agentforce particularly is more focused on end user use cases. So let's say I'm a salesperson, I want an AI SDR to boost my productivity, then Agentforce comes in. So a good way to think about anything that Salesforce comes up with is Builder. So Salesforce is not SaaS, it's SaaS Builder. You come in with these consultants and you use the SaaS Builder to build SaaS for you. Just like that, if you've seen Agentforce Builder, it's an agent builder. Somebody still has to come in and build agents on that agent builder. Having said that, yes, it's still very probable, and actually just 10 days ago they launched something, but our guess or our hope, our desperate hope would be that they'll always do 10% of it. Like just with DevOps, Salesforce DevOps is a huge category, Salesforce CPQ is a huge category. All these verticals have big startups in it. Salesforce has always just put out the rails. Somebody has to come in, build on top. And that's just the ecosystem. Yeah.
All right. Where is Wrestle AI on the startup curve? Well, okay, maybe we can ask some questions first. Do you guys have revenue?
I learned from the last company, so I can't. But yeah.
Do you have
we
design partners? Maybe that's...
Yeah, we're post design partners. We have like some people who are still in pilot, some people have converted. So yeah, that's where we're at. That's all I'll tell you.
Okay. So it's confidential. You're not publicly traded yet. We got it. Where on the curve are you?
So we came to SF 6 days ago now. My co-founder and I.
Where did you come from?
India, Bangalore.
Wow.
Yeah, we're one of the.
We're gonna have a
yeah.
chapter there soon, aren't we, Chappie? There we go.
So yeah, I mean, I would say here we're elated right now, but I'm sure we'll come down. So
Nice. Okay, you got to sign it.
sign it, Russell. Yeah.
And also, everyone in the audience, the least you could do is leave constructive feedback in the app. Chappie spent the whole weekend working on the app and doing bug fixes on it. I mean, come on. Please give feedback to Wrestle AI.
Yes.
They absolutely killed it.
Yeah, I would like two types of feedback. One is from anyone who uses Salesforce at their organization. We'd love to be connected to the RevOps people there. And second, if you've used Salesforce, if you've developed on Salesforce, would love to hear your story. What sucked? What are things you'd like to just get away with? So stuff like that. Yeah.
Wonderful. Wrestle AI, all the way from Bangalore.
Quick show of hands, who uses Salesforce or has developed on Salesforce? All right, we've got a few.
Potential customers.
All right. Who's next?
Last but not least.
Click out. All right, come up. Yeah.
Okay, everyone, if you've been to a demo night before, you know what we do on the last round.
Sorry.
On the last round, the goal for all of us is to do as many claps as possible. That's the center button. You can clap it as many times as you want. Last demo night of this size, I believe we did 15 or 20,000. Let's say the target is at least 15,000 claps between all of us. That's like 100 claps each. I think we can do it. I like the physical claps. We're doing virtual claps. We're doing virtual claps. All right, let's get at least 15,000 virtual claps.
Awesome. Ben, what are you building?
Hi, hello everyone. My name is Ben, CTO and co-founder of Clicker. So we're focused on the inferencing problem. We're not developing models. We're not purely embedding models, any models, into any hardware. That's the mission.
Embedding models in hardware. So what are the challenges with that? Extremely constrained model size?
Yeah, there are lots of problems with, but that's the gist, pretty much. So any model using one line of code to get to any hardware. Part of the challenges are, dealing on the seam in between user creativity and very diverse set of hardware is a very painful problem.
What are some examples of like the hardware you're compressing models for?
Also, anything popular. Has anyone dealt with NVIDIA GPUs here? Anyone? Intel CPUs, AMD CPUs, Raspberry Pis. Those are our targets. So mobile phones as well. It's like, how do you take that model so you can put it into a device, make that application come to life, but also maybe get some benefit on cloud. So whether you're all about expanding your user experience, users want fast responses, or some companies want to save a lot of money because some use cases that we have is instead of paying for a long weighted A100 machine, you can just use L4 GPU. So $4,000 goes to roughly $800. So that's pretty much the scale of these stuff. And also just put them on the mobile phone, why not?
So how do you do what's involved in the model compression?
Yeah, so that's pretty much an open problem. There are so many stuff you can do. So the idea is once you take a model, all of these fancy AI models that you keep hearing of, just neural networks, basically dumbing it down. Neural networks, graphs, nodes, edges, that's the problem you're trying to solve. Every node, every pattern, everywhere you can just mash them up together and take advantage of running it faster. That's pretty much dumbing it down.
And And what's the thing that you found with model compression that you feel like other approaches are missing or haven't yet unlocked?
So obviously, it's a very common problem. Now, hardware companies do provide their own set of toolkits. That's great. However, what we find is that they're lacking. It's either they're not moving as fast or the things are not well supported for all the models. So what happens is you put in something and then it just doesn't work. And then engineers spend 6 to 12 months just trying to get the damn thing running on the device. And that's a vicious cycle that doesn't end. And something is not supported, you're trying it again. Now add a different model, go back to the beginning. Add a different hardware, go back to the beginning. Start figuring this part out. And maybe you just end up on a community forum trying to figure this one out, which is very, very common, sadly.
Cool. So where are you in the building of this? Like,
Let me just run.
Yeah,
Let me just run.
let's see it.
Let's just compress all the YOLO models in the background, just because why not?
So what's going on here?
Okay, so basically, let me start by running this. But the gist is this. Maybe I'll. Is this okay? Perfect. Can you hold this for just a second? So let me zoom out. This is all the code you need to compress all of the YOLO models. Okay, so basically what happens here, first of all, we want to run on a TensorRT, that's by NVIDIA. You can either go for Intel platform, either Onyx Runtime, Qualcomm, and TBD Clicker. Basically, all of the Llama quants that you keep hearing of, this is a very, very efficient way of doing this for any hardware, not just Llama CPP. So you just take 8 images, initialize the model, and call this magic function. So what you can see happening is in less than a minute, we'll have the first YOLO model, and that would be pretty much like times 8 or 10. So in 10 minutes, we will have them all. And that also applies to Llama or Whisper or any of the Torch Vision models. Basically, entire Hugging Face can be dumbed down.
So you cover a wide variety of models.
Yeah, that's the problem. Otherwise, it doesn't scale well. It cannot be an artisan work anymore.
All right, I want to jump straight to actually what kind of feedback do you want from the audience?
Well, what kind of frameworks are you using? What kind of hardware are you interested in? What kind of models are you interested in? How much do you pay for your monthly expenditure on Google Cloud or AWS?
Well, I guess to constrain it a bit, who here is working on hardware? Couple? Yeah. Is this something that you would use right now? Can you say a bit about
you want to join?
like what you're using now and then what?
My co-founder and CEO will join as well, so that's great. Yeah. This is Nail.
Sorry, my co-founder forgot really important part that our automated compression toolkit automatically compresses your customized model by on average 70% and accelerate the speed on average 6 times for any target hardware that you're aiming for. And our compression engine is next level. Instead of just compressing the model from 32-bit to 8-bit, 4-bit, now our upgraded version outputs the mixed precision. We do automated sensitivity analysis per layer, so we automatically output the most optimal state of the model. Thank you.
Yeah. The non-techie become techie. Techie, super techie.
The way I currently understand the problem, there's a bunch of open source tooling which you can just use off the shelf for model compression. What I'm trying to understand is that if the value proposition is arbitrary models, so arbitrary hardware, are you focused on automatically generating kernels and drivers for specialized hardware? Is that something just writing CUDA code which is better than what exists out there? Is that a direction you're looking at, or is it mostly about model compression?
So model compression is not our end target. This is a milestone. Now for us, so we're already doing sub 4 bits quantization. Right now we're blocked by the inferencing frameworks. So all the TensorRT, even TensorRT LLM, which is great, but very heavily template based. There's OpenVINO, there's Onyx Runtime, QNN. So these inference frameworks. they're blocking us from doing even crazier stuff. So that would be our next phase of going into more of the runtime and owning the runtime, and then what you're saying. So to the point that we would generate kernels for you so you can have one single CPP file that you can just compile and run it wherever you want. Compile it on your system, do whatever you want with that. So that's the next phase. So conquering this was key because pretty much, like you maybe find like a very niche project on GitHub that show you 1-bit matrix multiplication, but in reality, it's not being used, and also very heavily, you need to fine-tune the model and stuff like that. We don't do that. Automatic, put the model in, you can set the wide range of bits you want to try if there is something you want. Super tweakable, sliders, knobbable, whatever you want. That's the...
All right, the dreaded question. You know, when you guys were coming up, I thought it was ClickUp. That's what I initially heard, and
Yeah, that's true.
I think they'd be further down there. So, where's Clicka?
The Promised Land, Wiggles of False Hope. I think we're here.
Do you
Somewhere here.
guys have revenue?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
So we're targeting $1 million ARR for Q1 this year. We're already 40% in.
Nice. So like
this quarter.
Oh, this quarter. I was going to say
quarter.
you're like a third of the way towards the Series A at today's metrics, but no, that's
Thank
awesome.
you. So do I sign my name here or just write the company name?
Maybe switch to a different marker.
Probably.
What kind of feedback should the audience be leaving in your app? What are you looking for? You kind of mentioned what models people are using. What else would you like the audience to provide?
I mean, I think trends are clear. Like people like larger language models, multimodal, stuff like that. I think what I'm curious about is like what kind of pain points they're experiencing with dealing with specific, let's say, tools by hardware vendors, or what kind of a missing experience you're looking for. Because a lot of these tools have very bias built into them. We don't like that. We don't like the templates. We want something to work for the user. So, I mean, if you want to share pain points about anything regarding deployment of machine learning models, embedding them into your application, we'd be happy to know.
All right, Clicka, everyone. Last but not least.
We have almost 11,000 virtual claps. We're almost there. We almost have 15,000 virtual claps. Keep pressing. Yes, Chris.
All right, let's have a round of applause for. Is that the last demo?
That's the last
Let's have
demo.
a round of applause for the demoists.
All right, time for the voting. Let's see. Chappie, you want to move to voting? Awesome. Okay. Thanks. Perfect. Okay, so we are going to vote on the top 3 contenders. We have, there we go, most creative, best technology, and best overall. And what you guys can do is feel free to get up. The demoists are going to be along the tables over there. Get some more food. Be sure to vote. And then in 2 or 3 minutes, we are going to announce the winners. So this is the end of the demo night, but we'll announce winners in a few minutes. So thank you all so much for coming.
Which is the music going?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We have to bring it back over here.
Yeah.
So what? How do you fix it?
People to click that.
Oh, really? Yeah, here it is.
You want to use Lime? Well, okay, actually, do you want to put Spotify on yours or something and just get some?
I don't really use Spotify. Do you have it on your? Do you have
I do.
set
But
up?
do you want to get Demo Night app on your computer then?
Yeah.
I just don't want
Yes.
to have this show. I don't
Yeah.
have all the results showing.
Totally. Here you go. I'll get Demo Night app on mine.
You'll have to update the presentation.
I remember when I saw the company, I was like,
Yeah, I turned this on. Okay. Well, final couple. Wow, that's very loud. I just have a loud voice. Final couple minutes to cast your votes. There we go. Trophy ceremony.
Perfect, but the music went off.
Oh, it's still on. It's just very quiet.
No, I just turned off.
No, it's on.
I don't hear.
It's there.
Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, wait, now it's not. Okay.
There you go.
Okay, we have winners. Woo! All right. Most creative Dweem. Best technology, Clicka. Best overall, Colaire. Make sure to give them a high five.